Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode, or issue, as we like to call them here, of course, of Masks Sunset City. I am, as always, your beloved Killer GM, with he/him pronouns, though I portray a variety of people in this wonderful, wonderful comic book world of ours. Otherwise, let's get to our cast and see how they're doing and what they're looking forward to tonight on this wonderful, wonderful issue. Let's start off with Wally. How you doing, friend?
Sup, y'all? It's your boy Wally. Go by he, him pronouns. I'll be playing the hero Turbine, aka Marvin. That's all I'm going to say right about now.
Yeah, those who are first coming in, Wally had some things happen with Turbine last week, yeah?
Oh, yeah, some interesting things happened. Some unique, when young men, they grow up, their bodies go through changes, and these things happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Christy, how are you thinking about changes?
Oh, my name's Christy, also known as Polish Christy. I go by she, her pronouns. I play Hassar, who also goes by she, her pronouns. And there are a lot of changes happening right now. It feels like this whole group is just blossoming. It's crazy, and I love it, and I can't wait.
Excellent. Corey, how you doing, friend? Who are you playing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. My name is Corey Sparks, also known as Hyperlight Sparks. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm playing Sapphire Sirius, who uses he, him pronouns most of the time. But yeah, so far so good. That's all I've really got to say, because I'll just let mostly what Sapphire's thinking about now is what just happened to Wally. I mean Marvin. Excuse me. What just happened to Marvin?
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a bit.
Exactly. We'll
But somebody's got some other things to deal with and problems they might want to address. Celeste, how you doing?
Hi there, I'm Celeste. I use they, he, or z pronouns. I play Elodie, who uses she, her pronouns, and things are happening, and Elodie's gotten a confidence boost recently, and sometimes that goes to your head. So we'll see how that unfolds.
Indeed we will. Sooner than you might think. Somebody who may not be feeling the most confident right now, but definitely isn't getting paid enough to deal with this. Pope, how you doing, friend?
Rule 100. There are no vacation days. So, hey everybody, Pope here, playing Mythos. We both use he, him pronouns. Our erstwhile protege of Hell Warden has conversations that he needs to get to. More than I think he will, but we'll see.
We'll find out when we get there, because, we love playing to find out. Last time on Sunset City, our heroes had returned from a trip to Xanadu, the city of Menace, where they had gotten a variety of different gewgaws and information and things. And they returned to Sunset City to find things had changed. In the short time they had been gone, crime had seen a sharp uptick. New construction was being done. The construction by Omnidig's Mutual. The crime by a new gang that had come into town. The group elected to split their forces to get some idea of what was going on. And in so doing, discovered that the name of this new gang was the Round Table of Crime. Of course, being a cause for a bit of concern considering Elodie's rival, her doom, is the Black Knight. A brief misadventure allowed Sapphire to acquire some form of data while chasing off the being known as Balor. And Marvin underwent some radical changes, which he will be coping with. And all the while, at the very end of things, outside the House of Mysteries, was the dastardly Darkstryder, who said he was here to help. But before we go forward, we must go back. Back, Elodie Young, to when a contract was negotiated. When a contract was signed. Would you like to set the scene for us?
Yeah. Elodie has said before that she has a perfect memory. It's not a superpower, it's just something she's always been able to do. Recall everything, photographic memory, recall everything with perfect clarity. And she often recalls the night that she lost her mother and her brother to the night. And she often recalls the aftermath of that. When she staggered out of that dumpster, scooped her brother's bloody hat off of the sidewalk, and fell to her knees on the street, looking around, lost and helpless.
And as she is reeling from this absolute life-changing tragedy, she feels a hand on her shoulder. Why, you almost met a terrible end, didn't you? It's awful.
What are we gonna do? Dad and Mom was the one who. Dad can't work. He's on disability. Rennie only has a GED. He can't get a job that'll support all of us.
Oh, that is the thing about this terrible, cruel world. It doesn't want to take care of you. But there is a way. There's always a way.
And she looks up for the first time. Who are you?
You can call me Periwinkle J. Gentles, Esquire.
You're a lawyer?
Yes, of a fashion. Would you like to step into my office?
Office? What? We're in the middle of this street.
Oh, we can get off the street, though. Be for the best. You don't want to be out in this cold. Oh, I do so loathe the cold. And you look and see, and there's a door just ajar, just off to your left.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's good. Come along. And what is your name, if I might ask?
It's it's Elodie. Elodie Young.
Elodie Young. What a lovely name. Almost lyrical. You step inside, and immediately inside, it appears to be, it is an office. It isn't super well appointed, but it is, fairly nice. There are filing cabinets everywhere, a desk that is cluttered with various different gewgaws. Some of them even glow. Oh, where are my manners? I'm sorry. Tea?
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure I should be. I mean, I'm not 18 yet, so maybe I should call my parents.
You'll be fine. Once we put you back, it'll be as if no time's passed at all. Things move differently here. And he's gone and put a kettle on, little pan, little hot plate.
Okay.
Now, what you're wanting to do is you want to make sure your family's cared for, correct?
Yeah. I also. I don't want to be. I couldn't do anything. I want to be able to do something next time. This is going to happen again, right? These things always happen again.
They do, with such depressing regularity.
I want to be able to stop it next time.
And stop it you can. If we can come to an agreement.
What, like, you need me to pay you?
Payment, yes, but we can defer that for a time. These things always take time to accumulate anyway. It's a very standard contract, really. Let's see. And he's now pulled a sheet of paper out of his desk, and he's fussing away at it. Let's see. Ipsolar, Pir Katir, carry the 5. And he's got this quill that he's pulled out of a jar. So you want the power to defeat the Black Knight.
Is that what he's called?
That is indeed who he is.
Like the guy from the King Arthur story.
Quite.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me like superpowers like Pulsar?
Oh, not exactly like Pulsar. It'd be a little different. Everyone's a little unique. One moment. And he pulls out something from the desk. Put your arm on the desk, please. I just need to take a measure.
Oh, okay. And she extends her arm out.
And he pulls what appears to be a measuring tape of some kind. And he's rolling it between his fingers. So we can give you durability, malleability, because that's always a personal favorite, and because of the way these things work, we'll give you a little bit of manipulation as well. Glamours and the like. Standard procedure, really.
Manipulation? I don't want to, like, gaslight anybody.
What is a memory but just a little bit of chemical you're rebalancing?
Okay. Maybe it could come in handy.
I'm certain you'll find a use for it. Somebody always does. Now then. And the tea kettle starts to actually sing a small tune.
You got some fun gadgets in here, mister.
Yes, I do. I am fond of the little things I collected over the years. Always a story behind them. Lovely stories, really. Not enough time for them all, really, though. Let's see. And he totters over and gets the kettle, pours a couple. Cream or sugar?
Both. Both, please.
Very good. Things on the sweet side, always a little better. Helps things go down, I find.
That's the Mary Poppins song.
A little truth, a little fiction. More truth than fiction, if you really look at it. And he hands her the cup and saucer.
Thanks. My dad and Rennie. Maybe it would be better if they didn't know that I survived, or something like that. Maybe I feel like they'll be upset with me that I didn't do enough.
They might be. But we have something we can do for that. I'll set it up. And it's better anyway, because the matter of your fee, like I said, it will be deferred until you defeat the Black Knight. It's all down in the contract here if you want to take a look. And at the very end, I will have your name.
How's that work? I mean, like, it's a name. Do I just get a different one, or?
I'm not quite certain what happens in the aftermath. I never really keep track. You'll get something, I'm certain. Or you can make something. Names are what you make of them, really, at the end of things.
Okay. It doesn't sound like it'd be that important. I'm not sure why you'd want it.
Oh, it's important to me. I told you I'm a collector of things, of stories. When you get a name and it has a good story to it, whoa, it's one of the best things. At least for people like me. For people like you, it's just something you can shuck off like a coat.
Okay. If you really want it that bad, I don't see any reason not to.
I mean, I'm doing you a favor here and giving you what you need to make things right.
Okay. And she slowly takes the papers and she sort of like starts to shuffle through them a little bit, but like it's clear she's staring into the middle distance. She's not really absorbing anything she's reading. Yeah, I guess it's like the standard, like I'm sure there's like an end user license agreement in here somewhere, like when you get a video game account.
Something like that, yes.
Okay.
So, just sign there, and then if you flip through the last couple pages, there'll be one on there as well.
And there's just like a moment's hesitation as she's holding the pen over the paper, and her hand is shaking, and then she closes her eyes and she remembers it again, and pen hits paper.
Very good, Elodie Young. Let's see what we can do to put some shine on that name, shall we?
Alright. Yeah. Thanks.
that's when we'll flash forward to the present.
And Elodie's staring in a mirror. And she looks pretty much exactly the same as she did on that day, because it was before she had the shape-shifting powers. She calls this her au naturel. How she looked before the powers, when she's not using the powers. And Marvin has seen this, and Isla has seen this, but very few other people have. She's got acne. She's got a square jaw, high cheekbones. She's skinny, flat-chested, wide-set shoulders, spindly legs. And she's staring at herself in the mirror. Her hair is blonde. Eyes are green. You didn't know any better, she says to her reflection. I didn't know any better. So how could I have said no to you?
And you hear that same voice behind you. All you had to do was just put your lips together and go, no.
No, you gave me something I couldn't refuse because I was a scared, grieving little girl. And you took advantage of me, lone shark that you are.
I didn't hear you complaining at the time.
I didn't know any better.
And knowing what you do now, would you have done it still? I think so.
I can't go back and undo the choices that I made. We both know that. But I can choose how to move forward. You don't own me.
Don't I? I believe I have a contract somewhere in my office saying something very, very close to that effect. Oh, I may not have your gawky teenage body or your mannerisms, off and on again such as they are, but Elodie Young is the property of one Periwinkle J. Gentles, Esquire.
Not yet. Not yet. And if I have my way, not ever.
And how do you suppose you can do that?
I don't know yet, but I'll find a way. Until this ends, no matter how it ends, my actions are my own. You don't own me.
So it is. Your actions are your own. Until such time as the Black Knight is defeated. That is the wording of our arrangement.
I see you for what you are. And I'll never be blind to it again. And she turns away.
put a glamour on. You're embarrassing yourself. And he fades out. And I think it is at that point we will shift up your mundane and shift down your superior. Accepting that, okay, interesting.
I may have forgotten that I can deny that.
Ah, if you wish to deny that, you can.
You know what? I very much would like to deny that.
Very well. At that point...
Where's my basic roll here? Because I have to roll to do that, right? And it's just a flat 2d6, if I'm not mistaken. No, here it is. Reject influence.
Yep, rejecting influence, it is a straight
Okay.
2d6. Yeah, that's a full hit. You are not as he says you are, or at least in your mind, you are not. You are still Elodie Young. For now. Elsewhere, the House of Mysteries. Mythos. Would you like to set the scene for us?
Yay. So, in the previous Mythfits issue, we saw a tense, awkward car ride with a bank of servers through a hole in the hearse's roof. Sapphire holding on to the thing so it doesn't fly out of the vehicle as it was going at top speed.
In the form of a rope.
Yep, tying it all down. With Hussar and Mythos in the front, most awkward of holding hands as they were speeding back to the House of Mystery. And then right as the house got in view, something else got in the rear view mirror. And it was the flying form of Darkstryder. You have the sort of not quite classic Blues Brothers a la Ghostbusters K-turn right up to the front of the House of Mystery as Mythos just squeezed Hussar's hand, got out of the car, took a few steps as Darkstryder descends and said, "I'm here to help." And he's just looking, because I'm almost certain there's about a foot height difference between these two. And so it's just Mythos staring up at Darkstryder going, "Let's talk."
Where do you want to do this?
Well, Hell Warden, Rule 200. Sometimes you have to break the rules. Come on to the house.
What do you mean?
Oh, so there was a rule like that? He just says as a face just sort of forms in the rope.
There's always a rule like that.
I don't feel comfortable. No, I don't feel comfortable with this at all.
Oh, it's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I mean,
That's saying something.
yeah, I mean, you usually when you do something stupid, it's one of those stupid things that ends up saving us in the end. But this right here is this is a whole new kind of stupid. This is open all the cages in the zoo kind of stupid. This is a new kind of stupid.
I, 1, respect. 2, I understand. And 3, I'm not afraid anymore.
And how can you be sure that he's not going to try and trick us again? Remember
Oh,
the
he's-
last time?
He's going to try and trick us. That's a given. But this is my house.
And you're just going to invite him into it.
If he breaks hospitality, there's consequences.
Well, I hope you're right about that.
Not about to fight the House of Mystery after I fought the House of Secrets.
Besides, the House of Secrets has a malevolent spirit. The House of Mystery, don't piss her off.
Before we walk in, Hassar will step right in front of Darkstryder and just be like, the house isn't the only one you have to worry about pissing off right now.
And then as soon as Isla gets out of the way, Sapphire just sort of hovers in front of him and just sort of like circles around and like, I've got my eyes on you, bub.
As you're doing that, like his monocle is whirring and clicking as it follows you. Yeah. And then I assume you all head inside after a bit
Yeah.
of posturing.
Yeah.
Well, like there's this bit of posturing, like we get the panel of them like walking in a row, and then we just see the car itself pull around into the garage.
And Sapphire, back in his, humanoid form, he's carrying the server like over on his back with like his hands morphed into like these gigantic, huge arms, and he's just carrying it into the building.
And we're back into the familiar confines of the House of Mystery. I think everything's fine until Darkstryder steps into the house and the bear rug roars, but then gets quiet.
Love what you've done with the place.
I didn't really decorate it. It's her doing. Door closes behind all of them.
And right at the moment when Sapphire just like struggles to slide the server into the front door and just
Hassar just watches. She's not helping. She's like, be careful. Be careful of the edges. Oh,
right.
so close.
Where do you want to have this sit down?
Yeah.
He's once the servers are done.
Like, where do you want it?
Servers you can put in the library.
Got it.
As for this,
He just sort of hovers over to the library with the server on his back.
we're going to be sitting down and talking. It's time to go to the parlor. And we haven't been here yet. So, walks up to this set of French doors with a moonlit sky motif in stained glass. Doors open, and it looks like a parlor in a French castle sometime during 1943. There's a small schooner table set up. There's a bar, a few books scattered, well appointed, quiet, dark. Eventually, with a gesture of the hand, the gas lights flicker on. So, you want to help?
Want and doing so are two very different things. However, since we're in the timeline where you have to deal with the round table of crime, benefits me more to help you.
Okay. So, what does this help look like?
Information, resources.
In exchange?
I need you for an experiment.
I need more details than that.
That's a no from me. I mean, I know you're talking to him, but that's a definite no from me.
It's a machine that diffuses out multiverse.
Cool.
I need a singularity.
Yeah. About that. That got complicated. Should probably be using your machine. Means I have to go back in the labyrinth if you want actual success.
Wait. You're not a singularity anymore?
Kinda, sort of. Kind of like Schrodinger's kid right now. When the light bulbs aren't on and no one sees me, and those places in between, then yes. But out here, in the real, I'm just another of many.
Suppose I'll have to fix that up.
Means I have to go back to the place where there's only 2 exits. And I have to make the other choice.
You see him, his fingers tense, servos whir and click. Almost like he's calculating something. You say if you're in between, it still works.
Yeah, for that split second.
Could potentially make that work. That's a problem I'll figure out on my end.
Okay.
Regardless, if they get to have their way, none of us win.
I want to pierce the mask.
Do it!
Oh, I'm no good at this. I am no good at this.
Well, mark potential, dear Mythos. You know what? Ask a question, but I don't have to tell you the truth.
More than fair. I'm getting deja vu. This conversation's happened before. I just don't remember it. He needs the house, he needs the singularity, he needs me. Does he know who I was before this happened?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We can do this. Because I believe you. If the round table is let loose, we're all going to be distracted, and it's not just us, but Elodie loses.
Beyond that, what they represent, what event they bring down, and I know you know that at this point.
So you know about Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do the thing. First, we gotta stop these folks.
What have you got so far?
They're tied to the night. Morgan's jumped the shark. Her auguries did not count for space, time, just focusing on this little blue dot. And she's blind as a bat and obsessed.
What else is new?
Yeah, but this is different. She didn't even heed a warning. She knows about the houses. She's talking about the rising sun. It's more than just Mordred. It's more than the Black Knight. It's more than Arthur. She wants to bring Avalon here. She wants to bring it back. Ahead of schedule. That's what I know.
That's what the line would say. That's what the timeline would hurtle towards without any other intervention. And I've seen that end. It's a bad place.
Actually, would you give me one moment, real quick?
Go on.
Be right back. He actually, quickly rushes out, not just to the parlor, but of the house. That cell phone that he never uses, he finally pulls open. There's not many numbers in here, but there is one with a Xanadu area code. And just types in, calling in a favor. I need insurance. And just texts that message and lets it go, and then goes back into the house.
Okay. Certain we'll deal with that in a moment.
Don't get the best reception in here as he closes the parlor door.
Tell me about it.
All right. So that's the deja vu. Alrighty. So this is all leading up to them. Logic dictates they're going to be wrecking the place, forcing Party Crasher's hand before she's ready. He confronts her, knocks the domino out of the way, and then the Black Knight gets what he wants. He gets Arthur back, and this time, because everything is wrong, somebody wins. Regardless of who wins in that fight, we all lose.
Something down that line.
What's different about this time? Why is it wrong this time?
Do you think it's right for King Arthur to come back now? Do you think this is the hour of need?
Look, the love of my life is having a very big existential crisis right now. My girlfriend is having a really hard time because she's probably going to die any day, and we have to figure out how to save her. I have no idea what King Arthur coming back would do. I'm just here to help.
And finally, Arthur turns around and looks her in the eye. It's not just the king that comes back. There's people who leave. Avalon and the House of Mystery occupy the same space. Avalon comes back, I'm gone.
So we've reached the all or nothing phase of this. That's great.
there's only one Arthur allowed to be here at one time. So,
And that's to say nothing of the fact of if they come back and start making things, they're going to cross some streams that nobody wants crossed.
also, the house is gone, so all the guarantees waged against it are null and void. Lithians, seventh dimensional entities, the Abyss, everybody gets to play again. So, how do we stop the round table? You have the info. It's time to spill it.
There are a couple different ways you go about this. You stop them brute force. Good luck. You disrupt them. Whatever they're doing with all these big construction projects around town, that's part of this whole thing.
That's going back to the old files and how this place was founded. I had an inkling, but I don't know precisely what they're up to. Actually, we'll probably have a better idea thanks to you. It turns to Sapphire and everything that's on those files.
If you sort through those, you'll probably find an answer.
Okay, so
Or you get your little party crasher up to snuff. Get her ready.
I like doing multiple things at once. That's why I'm not really good at any one thing. But it sounds like I know what this sounds like. Okay. Just turns back to Usar and Sapphire. You need to find Turbine. You need to find him, bring him home. We need to figure out what's going on. And when he does what he does, we need to aim him at the right places. He's probably really scared and really angry at the same time. We need to use both of that to wreck the place. I don't like tearing up the city, but I don't see much other options we've got.
Sometimes to save a place, you gotta bring it down.
Okay. So, property damage. That's another charge against me. Fun. Also, yeah. Both of you are going to need to be there to bring in Turbine. I'll try and find Elodie. I'll try and get her back, and we need to all be home just for a bit, just to get this clear, and then once the dust settles, we'll do your experiment.
Of course. Go find your friends. I'm going to go talk to my Confederates. Let them know that we've got a little more assistance on your side of things.
Before you leave, if things really do go pear-shaped, and things do go really, really wrong, look for a door that shouldn't be there. Gives him a card. It's for no names. That'll get you in the door.
He tucks it in a little compartment on the gauntlet. Anybody I should ask for there?
Things go really as bad as I fear. You won't be able to find May, so ask for Barney.
Right then. Well, let's hope it doesn't go that bad.
Yeah.
Really have to
If you'll
hate
excuse me, I have to go and get my friends back and have a nervous breakdown. So, catch you later.
and I'm going to go see a man about a gorilla. And with that, he starts walking out the door.
Just nope, not touching that one today. No.
Hussar immediately grabs Arthur. This might be the very first time where I have no idea where to start with Marvin.
Start at the one place you both have in common. You love each other. If anyone can reach him, it's you. I've already burned enough bridges, and as good as I'm getting at laying stones and masonry, things aren't where they should be. That's on me. But the two of you, if any of us have any hope, it's the two of you that's going to bring it.
Okay. No pressure, right? Yeah. Go find Elodie. Let's get ourselves ready. I'm gonna bring Blue Boy with me, and it'll be great. It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
And just as they're walking out, just goes to Sapphire.
Yeah, and as soon as Mythos goes toward the library room, you hear from inside no, get back here! And there's this little gremlin made out of electricity comes running out of the room as Sapphire chases it, and he puts it in a little container thing. And he's okay, you were right. Magic and technology, kind of. There's a lot of magic in this place. There's a lot of magic in this place.
No. That's just Franklin. He's relatively harmless.
Oh.
Well,
he came out of the server.
Oh, most definitely. He gets in all these places.
Right. So
who's a good gremlin? Who's a good? Yes, you were. Yes, you are. There's steam coming off of his hands. It doesn't seem to bother him. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Now go find the vacuum cleaner. Go get vacuum. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, good news. I've managed to get the thing set up. Bad news. You guys have some really, really old computers in here. The newest model I could find was something from. I think that you guys call them the 80s. Something about a compact. It's the 80s of your planet, I guess.
Yes, the compact is the thing that's stable.
Right. So the server's hooked up to that, but it's really, really slow. So it might take a while for us to get any meaningful info on it. I could boost the RAM, but I don't know if the motherboard can handle it.
Right now, we need to go and get Marvin back. And I was going to take point, but if things go squirrely, I need you to protect her, yourself, him, and the city.
Right. Right.
He's scared and he's angry.
Yeah, I would be too. I would be too.
Okay?
Seen that kind of thing happen before, and it rarely ends well on my planet. But
And
not to worry.
Okay, thank you, because I'm running out of tricks.
You got it.
All right.
I'll bring him back as safe as I can.
Thank you. It just gives him a hug.
Yeah, and he hugs him back. Oh, this is the first time you've hugged somebody in here. At least, I think. At least the first time I've seen.
It's been a day.
And I think that is a perfect point for us to find out where Marvin is at.
So right now, page turns and you see Marvin. Well, you see a figure. They're wearing, the same pants and boots that Marvin wears, but they are also wearing a hoodie, and it's pulled up and over their head, trying to conceal it completely. And his hands are inside of the little pockets of the hoodie, and they are just walking down the street. And the sound of people screaming for help as there is a situation at a bank. He goes to go and help them out, but then he stops himself because he's afraid of what would happen if he removes that hoodie and how people would react. He watches the police arrive, and he pulls the hoodie up further around his face, and he keeps on walking down the street.
And I think that's a good point for our other heroes to arrive.
Is it a street corner that me and Marvin probably had walked down before, or it's around one of our favorite rooftops?
It's very much, it looks like that Marvin is subconsciously just walking by places that is familiar to him. And the street he is walking down is near the pizzeria. And he's not really paying attention of where he's walking. It's more like muscle memory of walking through the city. Like the routes he's taken constantly in his time being here is just what he's doing. He's walking aimlessly, but at the same time, it's not going anyplace unfamiliar for him.
Okay, so you see a panel of Hussar just walking through a crowd of people with Sapphire right behind her. And you see the little pictures of every time she touches someone's arm, she gets a flash of how they're feeling or what they're thinking. And it just flash, flash, flash. And then all of a sudden she gets a flash of intense anger and fear. And she just reaches out and grabs his hand and kind of rips him around.
As soon as you do that and you turn him around, he wrenches his hand away from you in pure shock and reacts
It's okay. You're okay. Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Marvin, there you are. We've been looking all over for you.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Oh, no need to apologize. How are you doing?
Well, what do you mean? How am I doing?
I'm
a monster. I'm a monster right now. How do you think I'm doing? He pulls back the hood, and you now see once again that his skin is pure black. There is no facial features of that of a human, and you see that there is no where his mouth would be is just a set of white jaws where his mouth would be, and there's no nose, and his eyes, there are a set of eyes right here, but then on top of it are another set of eyes where his eyebrows would be. And looks like those eyes, the eyebrow eyes, are like staring directly at Sapphire when he says that.
Well, I mean, you don't look like a monster to me.
I look like a monster, sir.
People are scattering and running as they see you.
As a matter of fact, there is a there are pyrites who look actually onyxes. Onyxes from my planet look exactly like that, and they're held in very high regard.
Sapphire, Sapphire, I'm gonna need you to do one thing right now. I need you to shut up. And he pulls the hood up over his head again, and he starts walking again.
Isla runs up, grabs him, and drags him into the nearest alleyway. Yanks off his hood.
Like Marvin just looks away from her.
She pulls his face back with one hand. This is not you. You are not a monster. If this is what you are from now on, that's fine. But you are not a monster because of it.
It's really easy for you to say that.
Yeah. It's really easy for someone who thought of herself as so good. Now all of a sudden she's having all of these thoughts about hurting people just to save others. You know what I would do to keep you? Horrible things. And that is something I never thought I would say before. It's not as easy as you think. And I put my other hand up. And I just kiss him on both cheeks. We will get through this. But we need you. I need you. You're allowed. Sapphire.
And he like his face, he literally zips. It like literally shapeshifts to zipper.
Thank you. You're allowed to be mad, and you're allowed to be scared, because I won't lie, it scared me the moment it happened. I thought I had lost you. But then I realized that we're never going to lose each other. It's just not going to happen.
I get that. But, like I said, it's really easy for you to tell me that I'm not a monster. It's really easy for you to say things that, even though this is who I am, that this is still Marvin underneath there. You know why it's really easy for you to say that? He takes off the hood and he walks right out into the middle of the street, and you hear everyone just start screaming. That's why it's easy for you to say that. You don't have this now, this curse that people are just gonna run away from you. I took pride in the fact that I could just show up on the scene and people would cheer and be happy for me, that I came and saved them. That was the best thing about doing all of this. I mean, yeah, I was made to be a weapon. Yeah, I was made to be some monster, but at least people, they saw me as a hero. They cheered for me. But now people are running from me. And I can't shapeshift myself to look normal anymore. Only thing, want to see what happens when I shapeshift and you see a bunch of eyes open up all over his body? This is what happens when I shapeshift. I tried for hours to turn back to normal and nothing happened. This kept on happening over and over again, or something worse. I'm hideous. I'll help you guys, because that's what friends and heroes do. But I'm still a monster. It's not going to change about me. And he puts the hood back on.
The only way you're going to get anyone to view you as anything other than a monster is being that guy who runs into the middle of the fray to help people. And then they'll see it. I'm not going to say it's going to be okay, because I hate when people say it's going to be okay. It'll be bad, but it will get better.
All right. What do we need to do?
Well, the round table of crime needs to get taken down. And guess what? Darkstryder's helping. So...
What?
Yeah, I
it's
know.
that bad.
He's helping us? Why?
There's something in it for him too. But also, apparently, there can only be one Arthur at a time.
And from what I overheard,
No, you go, Sapphire, because I'm a little.
Yeah, from what I overheard, it's about to hit the fan. There's a crazy Fey lady who's trying to like merge our dimensions or something and put this place called Avalon on top of the House of Mysteries. It's going to overwrite Arthur and basically just destroy everything that we know and love at this point. Now, Darkstryder, he's trying to get Arthur to participate in some kind of experiment. It sounded like it was something involving a machine that can, what did he say? Realign the timelines or something. I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him. But it's whatever it is. It's bad. We're talking cosmic level bad.
Oh, so there's an incursion of timelines happening, and timelines are going to collide with each other, and if they aren't fixed, then eventually all time and space will erase itself. Oh no, yeah, I've taken care of that stuff before.
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
And then you see a little editor box in the corner that says, "See, Marvin Saves the Universe, issue 2."
So Isla just grabs your hand. We'll just take our time getting back, but we do have some work to do. Okay?
All right, let's go back. And he puts the hood back up and he slips both of his hands into the pockets.
Word of advice, Marvin. When you go and kick ass out there, save us from this, whatever this is, it's gonna try to take over everything. Take the hoodie off. Let him see the face of a hero. And he flies off to the House of Mysteries.
Marvin, I'm gonna say up your superior, down your freak, unless you want to resist.
Ooh, because it's still so fresh, I'm going to resist.
Yep.
Because it's still so fresh. That's the only reason why I'm resisting, because it's still so fresh.
Yep. That's fair.
Okay. And I reject influence.
Yes.
Not bad.
Okay. So that's a 7 through 9. Which means you can either clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong, shift one label up one and one label down, your choice, or you can cancel the influence and take one forward against them.
I am going to give a big middle finger to that whole idea and prove why I am, even though I'm here, I'm still very, very much a freak. And he says, yeah, I'll take off the hood, but a hero's not going to fight him. They're going to get a real monster to deal with. And I head onward towards the house.
Excellent. Where do we find Elodie at this point?
Elodie is back at Tequila Sunset. And she has the contract out. And she is poring over it like she's never poured over it before. And I think it's high time that I assess the situation with regards to the contract.
Okay.
Full hit.
Okay, cool. You get 2 questions. What here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is the greatest danger? Who here is most vulnerable to me? How can we best end this quickly? And mark your doom track, please.
Okay. I think the first question I'd like to ask is, what here is the biggest threat?
The biggest threat for you is the fulfillment to the letter of this contract.
Okay. Okay. What here can I use to nullify the contract?
In the contract itself. The contract can be considered null and void if one of the parties involved is found to be essentially assisting in your failure, basically working against you.
I see.
Or if you were to say, try and depose Periwinkle directly, would be the opposite end of that.
Depose meaning...
I mean, there are several different terms used in here, but it would be like, if you intentionally try to kill him, if you try to screw with his position in the Court of Autumn, things like that. Basically, you can't wiggle out of the contract by getting him dislodged out of his place.
Okay. Huh. And Elodie, she looks at that particular clause and she leans back and her hands take a very familiar formation. And she says, what was he talking about when he visited Mab? What was he doing there? I mean, I'm not going back there. That's not happening. I need proof. If my hunch is right, I need proof.
And I think it's at that point there's a knock on the door. Or does Arthur just appear out of the closet? As
No, there's actually a knock at the door, but he's holding something different in his hands than usual.
Artie?
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I have to be in 2 places at once right now. And we just see a cut to panel of Arthur entering No Names and walking up to May. Then we cut back. So, things have gotten weird.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I tried to talk to him. He didn't seem terribly receptive.
He's scared and angry, and I can't blame him. And solving that particular consequence is a future me problem. Current me we have other issues.
Right. This whole round table thing.
Yeah, apparently it's worse than even I thought. So
Is
fine.
it?
Yeah, some sort of mystical disruption to try and bring Avalon back before schedule. And
Oh.
if you go,
Is that all?
yeah, it's bad. It's so bad that Darkstryder is helping us.
No. I still owe
It's-
that. I still owe him a punch in the face.
By all means, when this is all over, please kick his ass.
Okay.
It's just
Right.
got
Bigger
details, and
Fish. Bigger fish.
he mentioned something about a gorilla, and I have concerns.
Which gorilla?
I don't know. But apparently, if the round table doesn't get stopped, things proceed. Aside from being a really inconvenient thing for me, things go bad for everybody.
No,
So,
yeah, no, that goes without saying.
So right now, Asar and Sapphire are trying to bring Turbine home, and I'm here. So we can go home and probably just, have the one last moment of peace and quiet we're going to have for a very long time, because I think that's important.
Yeah.
So, home.
In just a moment. After we have our moment. And she takes the one page of the contract and she has highlighted the clause and she points it out and she says, I need proof.
That's a hoop.
I'm
That
not
means-
asking you to do it. I'm asking you to point me in the right direction.
I can do that. But fortunately, there's one other thing I don't think he accounted for. The clause says the Black Knight has to be defeated. Right?
Yeah?
Thing with titles, they can get inherited.
Wait. Oh my. Isla?
He just smiles that devilish smile. You didn't hear it from me.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah, let's go home.
Yeah, let's go home.
And as they're moving, Elodie pulls out her phone and she sends a message. And she says, "It's coming soon. I just need one more thing from you. Make sure my parents are taken care of." And she sends it off. And whether Menace or mine gets it, it doesn't matter. As long as one of them does.
And I think we see the two of them walking out of Tequila Sunset, and we cut back to No Names. So, if you're seeing me using this, you already know that I'm in trouble.
What kind of trouble is the point? And you best not be bringing it in here.
If it follows in after me, I am already very dead. But as much as I want to talk about cosmology and get advice, this is about your son.
What's wrong with Marvin?
He pushed himself, and whatever the Bureau did to him, something has... He's still him, but he doesn't look like him. And he's hurting, and he's scared, and he's angry, and I can't blame him, and I don't know how to fix it. But you need to know. You need to know, and I already know you love him. But he's gonna really need you in the coming days. And I'm so sorry.
She looks down. And you can see her nails digging into the bar. I know it's not your fault. Ain't anybody else's but that damn Bureau. What I need is one good reason why I shouldn't fly out to whatever little hidey hole they have and burn them out.
It's because they want you to do that, May. As much as Grendel's a thorn in our side, he's a B-team player. They haven't unleashed what's in the vaults. You go there, they get you. And we can't have that. He needs you.
Bastard will keep his secrets anyway. She goes back to aggressively cleaning a mug.
When he's calm, I'm gonna send him home, okay? When he's calm, I'm gonna send him home.
Arthur, it's gonna be fine. I trust him to come home when he's ready to come home.
Okay. Okay.
didn't have to come all the way here to tell me that.
Okay. I'll see you later, May.
Hey. And she's got a bottle of sarsaparilla in hand. For the road.
Thanks. And all of a sudden, like, we just see the necklace glow, and then we see the necklace glow as he's walking along with Elodie, and all of a sudden he has a sarsaparilla, and it looks like he's been crying for an hour.
Hey, you alright?
I'll be all right. Just cracks up his sarsaparilla and starts drinking.
She pulls him into a hug.
We gotta get home. Consequences once we're home.
Hey, you know I love you, right?
Yeah.
Alright, come on. Sappy shit later.
Yeah, consequences when we get home. As he downs the rest of the sarsaparilla.
And home we go to the House of Mysteries. Where are our heroes? Where do they convene again?
Probably in the library.
I made Marvin a sandwich. It's not as good as the ones you make, because you always make them for me. But you hungry?
Marvin's sitting inside the library with and he's not wearing the hoodie anymore. So he picks up the sandwich, takes a bite of it. You can see a thought bubble says, "It's so dry." Oh man, baby, you made this is delicious. Oh man.
I learned.
Yes, it's really good. You put a lot of love into it, and it tastes so good.
Love and zero mustard.
You see him he's just slowly chewing it because of how dry it is.
Like I'm just imagining that there was no mustard in the fridge, so she put some mustard seeds on it, and
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Crunch. The sandwich crunches. It should not crunch.
I like that it's perfectly canon that Isla is amazing at everything that she does, but when it comes to cooking, it's like, what? Sugar, salt, same thing.
It's fine. You'll like it. It's good.
Have you ever had roast beef and mayo before?
Yeah.
Yeah. With mustard seeds sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make one for you again if you get more hungry, okay?
Oh man, I think this is gonna hit the spot.
Oh, good.
We can share some gummy bears.
Thank you. He takes a big handful and just shoves it in his mouth.
I just sit next to Marvin. And all right. So, where's Darkstryder? And what's the plan?
I don't want to have to think about big mechanical timey-wimey dude for a while. But plan is we get to actually be kids for about a couple of hours.
What do you mean? Don't we have an incursion to stop?
Rule 200. Sometimes you have to break the rules.
I don't.
So does this mean that you're breaking the rule that says there's no days off?
Yeah.
Yes!
Awesome!
So we get to be home. we get to relax. And then once we're done relaxing, then we'll crack into the server, find out what they're up to, and stop them. That's the plan. But right now, I just need my friends and a few moments to not have to go into curios pulling out doomsday devices or having to epically talk down empires or punch somebody or fail to headbutt someone.
You're really not good at headbutting people.
I am the worst.
He tries really hard though.
If forever.
Okay, so Elodie, you're in charge of music. Sapphire, you're in charge of games. Marvin, you're in charge of food. Unless you want me to make food.
No, I'll be in charge of it. And he gets
Okay.
up instantly and heads to the kitchen.
And then I just sit next to Arthur on the couch. I'm like, me and you get to hang out.
Okay.
I don't know how to be a kid.
Mood. Big mood.
You guys want musical soundtracks, or do you want my punk mix?
Let's go with musicals first. We can do punk to hype us up later.
All right. Phantom of the Opera or Repo the Genetic Opera?
Repo, please.
Good.
And with that, like on the couch,
Yeah.
Mythos finally goes, okay.
And then
Okay, Orchid. Show him what you got. And the house just changes on the inside. It's where elements of every place that you've ever want to be just come alive in the different rooms. You want to go to Disneyland, there's a door to Disneyland. If you want to just, hang out in a movie theater, there's a movie theater. It's a playground for the next 8 hours.
Whoa. That was a really cool trick.
She's the best.
You want to go on a Ferris wheel with me?
Yes.
Nice. I'm gonna beat you there. She just takes off
If you
running.
don't take a selfie, I'll kick you.
Selfie or it didn't happen. That's what girls say, right? I don't know.
Close enough.
Okay. Cool.
So I think we just get like 4 pages in this comic of everybody getting to have a good moment with one another.
No speech bubbles. Just fun.
So there's at least for Mythos' good moment. They're in Disney World on the Haunted Mansion. But everything comes more alive. So you actually see the phantasms actually be phantasms, and everyone is singing, and there's a little bit of a tense moment with the bride, but eventually she just laughs at them and shoos them off. And that's Mythos' fun moment.
There's definitely a moment when Marvin was writing that with Mythos, and the part with the hat box goes happen when the moment when it says, and the spirits will travel with you after you leave, and that scene where you see the ghosts in the carriage with you, Marvin just turned around and punched the ghost.
And the ghost felt it.
Yeah.
Like the ghost flies back through the car.
I like to think it's the one with the top hat. So you end up with a top hat just sitting there. I think it's fallen off his head onto Isla, and the thing is too big. So it's just like to the bridge of her nose. And the ghost is just there, like full on classic Disney / Looney Tunes with the stars, the screwball, and the chickadees hovering around the ghost's head.
Perfect. Yes.
I think Elodie sprouts some wings and grabs Sapphire's hand and says, "We're gonna fly.
I
want
know.
to fly with you."
And
Any
where do you
particular-
fly?
I know just the place.
We come out a door. We actually come out of a door at the top of Mount Everest. And Elodie and Sapphire just hand in hand take off, and Elodie's phone from her pocket is playing "All I Ask of You" from Phantom of the Opera,
Oh my god.
and she's singing along. And she's actually decent. She's singing the male part because she can't quite hit the register on the female part.
Yeah, and Sapphire, you know, when he's singing the other part, his voice is just, he like shapeshifts his vocal cords to sound exactly like the girl from the movie.
Love me, that's all I ask of you.
And say, waking mama, promise me.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, we never got that kiss.
Yeah, and hopefully, Soul Brother isn't here to stop us. And
I mean, fingers crossed.
like,
Odd or even? Sapphire, odd or even?
odd.
Odd, he says. It seems the universe is in alignment.
And so they move in and they have the most romantic kiss that's ever been in this comic so far on top of
This is absolutely a full panel page with like the snow swirling around them perfectly. Like the artists obviously took their time with this because you gotta.
And like the second thing, like for Sapphire's moment, is basically just a continuation of this, where basically it's like showing that panel and it sort of swirls around to like them basically. This isn't the only time that they kiss. They did it again after Sapphire took her to his place, but it just sort of like shifts the background to show the passage of time. Basically what happens is Sapphire takes Elodie to the place where his door led, which is this planet that is a planet that he found when he was on his way to Earth. But it's so pristine and untouched that it doesn't even have a name yet. It's this beautiful forest with 7 moons in the sky, each of them having a different color. There are literally trees with crystal leaves that come up from the ground, and it's like this, the water has like these little glowy, sparkly things that go through it. You ever heard of what's that place called? I think it's called Biscayne Bay. It's this place where the water like literally glows. It's like that. But yeah, that's where he takes her through his through his door. I was like, you know, funny thing is, when I was running from the Empire, I was actually just thinking about staying here. But then I realized, you know, there was something missing. And now that you're here, I kind of figured out what that is.
Oh, that is the sappiest garbage.
Oh, you know
You have
you
been
love it.
watching too many Earth movies, Earth rom-coms. You are disgusting, and I love you.
Well, I try.
I mean, I got to admit, you set the bar pretty high.
You set the bar pretty high. We were literally on top of the tallest mountain on your planet. You know, before the Empire took over, you know, we used to worship mountains, you know, so that was like a sacred experience for me.
Well, glad I didn't disappoint. Hey, listen.
Hmm?
No matter what happens to me, I want you to promise me that you'll try to be happy.
Well, hopefully it won't come to that, but I promise. I'll try.
That's all I ask of you.
That's it.
Okay, moving on.
What's Marvin's happy place?
So, what Marvin does for his thing, he goes to find Mythos. And he says, "Look, you're really bad at hitting people. You're not good at it at all. Because I realize something is this. When you hit people, you don't know how to hit it properly. So we're going to show you how to hit people properly. What you're going to need is this." And he puts a rag in Mythos's hand. And when he looks at it, it's a luchador mask.
Okay.
And so the door they go through, as soon as they go through the door, both Mythos and Turbine are in gorilla position. And you see someone like sitting at like the production table, looks over at Marvin, like he knows he's been here a bunch of times. And kind of gives Mythos a look of like, oh, this guy's new kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, don't worry. I mean, he's a bit green, but I think he will. I think he'll follow suit pretty well. And he slaps Mythos on the back, and he shoves Mythos through the curtain. And Mythos, you're now on a walk ramp going down to a wrestling ring, and you hear people cheering loudly for you.
So confused. Gets in the ring and is just looking around for the next person to just clock him.
And pretty much what he and Mythos go through is they go through a full-out Royal Rumble, where it's pretty like, well, first it starts off is that Mythos is number one in the Rumble, and he's going through the Rumble. He's going through the Rumble like one after another. People are coming in after another, one after another. And like about after number 29, the last person, number 29, the last person comes in. How does Mythos handle this? How does Mythos handle this overall Rumble?
I think we get a lot of those like small off-kilter panels one after another as we just see Mythos being ragdolled all over the ring. Like as it gets further, the mask gets more torn. It's very much an homage to early 90s Spidey, where there is barely clothing left. There is meat, there is blood, and there might be a person under all of it. But he somehow manages to stay in the ring the entire time. Like, he keeps just getting, like, we see him get tombstoned. We see him get lariated. We see a blue thunder bomb that he takes. We even see a tiger driver. And no, but he still somehow manages every time when they try to toss him, he just grabs hold of the ropes, skins the cat every time.
And then after number 29 gets like accidentally thrown over the rope by Arthur's unique little like acrobatic maneuver, you're the only one left in the ring. You feel like this is it. Then you hear the crowd go 3, 2, 1, and then you hear this music play, and you hear the announcer. And coming back to the ring after a brief hiatus, we have the former champion, former intercontinental, intergalactic champion, former heavyweight champion, Turbine. And you see the pyros go off as Turbine walks out onto the ramp, and everyone is cheering, and you see him staring directly at you, Mythos, as he walks down the ramp. Like this imposing music is playing, everyone is cheering for him as he's walking down. Pyros go off down the ramps.
First, there's a look of mild shock and disbelief. That's just like that tiny, like really tight close up. So you see the bloodshot eyes and just no, not after everything else. And then it's just the wider shot of him backing up, getting into the center of the ring, and just like knee almost buckling, just doing the come here.
And when he does that, he sprints down the ramp, slides in, and that's when they had a whole freeze frame of them about to collide.
And meanwhile, like in the audience, Sapphire just sort of in the audience with that sign that says "Unleash the Beast." And it has Turbine's symbol on it.
There are definitely Turbine 316 signs in the crowd.
Yeah.
But they didn't appear until the music hit.
Yes, exactly.
It was just a giant swerve. Like there were all these other signs for like symbols, certain names of like cosmic heroes, and some of the darker heroes. There's like names, and no, all the Turbine signs don't show up until that.
Like they all flip them over.
Yeah.
Just...
And I feel like I think they have this wrestling match that is basically Marvin is teaching Arthur exactly what he said he would do, is how to take a hit and how to deliver a hit, but not deliver a hit like properly, but deliver a hit to make it count.
I see this match, but there is only one outcome, and beg, steal, and borrow. So Mythos is on the ropes, and he just gestures, and we just see like the mouthing of the words, "I'm sorry, I love you," and Marvin super kicking Mythos right out of the ring.
That is perfect, yes. Yeah, like he kicks him out the ring, and after the ref goes in, holds his hand up, he rolls out the ring and helps Arthur up, and he goes, "See, now you know how to take a hit."
Well, and then you see a panel of Isla. She opens a door to walk down one of those boulevards that has all of the tourist shops with the t-shirts and the spray-on tattoos and piercings and stuff like that. And she goes full-on rebellious teenager. She gets her belly button pierced. She gets a little tattoo of wings on her shoulder. She's like, I don't have that much time, so just, do it fast. And then she goes and she has a fake ID all of a sudden, and she buys her own liquor. And just all of the things that she's never been able to do. And then she just comes back to the House of Mysteries, and she's like, now I don't know what to do.
Elodie just gives her this knowing look with her arms crossed over her chest.
You want to see my belly button? She's like,
You know I do.
It hurts so bad.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Yay me.
You're getting real good at being bad.
I learned from the best.
Just, don't forget what it feels like to be good. Okay?
Right.
And she reaches into her vest and she pulls out a little piece of paper and she says, I've been looking for an opportunity to give this to you. And I think now is as good a time as any.
Okay.
And it's a poem that she's written. The link's in Green Room if you want to be the one to read it.
Okie dokie. Let's see here. So Isla just kind of takes the paper, opens it up, kind of looks at Elodie like, what? It says, I know you can't feel it, the grief that I feel when I think of those I've lost. I know you can't feel it, the fear that I hold inside when I think of what's to come. I know you can't feel it, the regret that I feel when I think of all the years I gave up. I know you can't feel it, the loathing that I feel when I think of how selfish I am. But I know that you know, I know you can tell just by looking at me. I know you can't feel it, the hope that I feel when I think of how strong you are. I know you can't feel it, the tenderness that I feel when I think of Sapphire's embrace. I know you can't feel it, the rush that I feel when I think of sparring with Marvin. I know you can't feel it, the joy I feel when I think of Arthur's face. But I know that I know you can tell just by looking at me. I am laid bare before you, whether I will it or not. I can hide nothing from you.
There's another page. Keep going.
Oh no. Hold on. I made a mistake then. Okay.
Here, I'll finish it for you.
Yeah, you finish it for me because I'm flustered.
You know me. You see me. Better than anyone, even myself. I am yours, emotions one and all, to do with as you please.
I know that I owe you for what you did when we went to Mabs. I was kind of helpless, and you kind of really stepped up to the plate, and you gave up something really important to her to get me what I needed. And she goes down on one knee, and I am vowing to you, Isla Hinsky, that until my debt is paid, I will serve you.
Isla just drops down to both of her knees in front of her and just wraps her arms around her shoulders. You don't have to vow anything, but I will take all of it because you are beautiful and I love you.
I love you too.
I hold her as long as I can.
Arthur comes out of a door and just slumps over, like face first out the door to do that comedy breaking of tension.
Like several things of confetti and balloons fall after him.
You okay?
And Marvin is like already walking out behind him.
Oh.
Oh,
It
yeah,
just-
you took him to the... Okay.
Just
And
still
Sapphire,
entirely face down, just the thumbs up.
Yeah, Sapphire comes out still with his Marvin sign.
Did who won?
The hand just points to Marvin.
All right. Yeah, I could have saw that kind of. Or were there any party crasher signs out there? Anybody witnessing me?
Oh, there were 4 of them.
Oh,
There were 4 of them. I mean, they are kind of confused why you haven't shown up. They were expecting you to show up at the Royal Rumble.
I mean, I hate to disappoint, but I just bigger fish, you know.
Oh, hey, the fans will understand. They'll understand. But I think one day you should just make an appearance one day and make your official retirement from ring work. I think that's what the fans want.
Yeah, I really ought to cinch that up with a nice little bow.
Then there's a panel as a hand has gone into a drawer, grabs like a burlap sack that just has a giant S on it, and then takes a lima bean and pops it, and then all of a sudden is able to get entirely back up and just puts the burlap sack back in the drawer. Well, that was fun.
Hey, Arthur, thank you for this. I think we all really needed it.
Yeah.
I know what we haven't done yet. We haven't played Truth or Dare.
Well, we don't play Truth or Dare because you will always take all the dares and you'll do them no matter what.
Hey, look, I'm off the lion kick. You guys can ask me for some truths, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
This is the House of Mystery. Fair warning.
Listen, I know where I am. I am not drunk for once.
I
I'm
mean, all
willing to do
right.
this, but first I'm getting a pudding. Just walks out to the kitchen. Just comes back with one of the generic, like, small little cups of pudding with the tiniest of spoons. and sits on the couch.
Marvin comes out of the kitchen with a sandwich and sits on the sofa. And he takes a bite out of the sandwich. This is one of his sandwiches, so it's delicious. Like, it's tasty. And then you see, as he takes a bite of the sandwich, you see, like, it almost like he doesn't realize that he did this, but you see, like, a mouth appear on his arm, and the mouth rises up, and it takes a chomp of the sandwich, and it goes back into his body. And he doesn't realize that he did this.
That's new.
Okay, that is new.
Yep.
Baby, what that mouth do?
I'm food with it. And he chews, like,
Yeah, you are.
I feel like I'm missing something.
I'll tell you later.
And like Sapphire notices Elodie talking about the second mouth thing going on, and he's just like, kink discovered.
Oh. So who's going first?
All right. Arthur, truth or dare?
Okay, for the safety of the house and all of you, I will take dare.
Oh, dare?
Of course.
Yes, because there's certain truths that I cannot utter.
Okay, I got a dare. I dare you. He puts the sandwich on the table and leans forward. I dare you to take Hellwarden's top shelf rum.
Okay. You have no idea how much danger you have just put me in.
Oh, I know.
No.
Call it a bit of a payback.
Fair. Dirty, but fair.
Hey, you're my
And
best friend. I could have done worse.
dirty, but fair. And again, like with the wrestling, there's just these off-kilter panels, and it's like there's a series of death traps that must be evaded. Like there are homages to film and tabletop history here. We have acid traps, we have pit traps. There's swinging on a vine over an alligator. The rolling death ball down a causeway.
Mythos,
There's
I'm going to request you unleash your powers here.
yes, by all means.
Lego.
Because that is the kind of dare that has been uttered here.
Yes.
Okay.
So, mark a condition, otherwise Hellwarden will find out.
I will mark a condition.
Very
I will
well.
mark a condition because I don't want to have that conversation again.
It's an uncomfortable conversation.
Again?
You didn't ask for truth. So we are going to mark angry. And he has retrieved the whiskey. Also the gin, because he might as well while he was there. He comes back. He almost looks worse than he did before with the wrestling. Like, there's slime, there's like mud, things are singed, bloodied, battered, and like there is an homage to Starro, as there is one of those starfish that's on his sneaker as he like is kicking it off and then stomping it.
It squeals and tries to scuttle off.
Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Woo! Artie, Artie, Artie.
Procure.
Ah, nice. You did it. Nope. It's your turn.
No, that would be mean. I'm not going to be vengeful today. Today. Okay. Okay. So, Isla, truth or dare?
Oh, I didn't want to do this. Dare.
I should have seen this coming. I don't see this coming anymore. That's still really nice.
I won't lie, it's kind of nice for us too.
Okay. Dare. He starts cackling and does the cackles madly. Like,
That's not really giving me a vote of confidence.
all right. I dare you, Isla Hinsky, eyes flare purple, to procure through that door Voodoo Child's top hat.
Well, this just feels mean.
I mean, you gotta take the dare. You asked for dare.
I know. Yeah. Fine. And I just march straight through the door, like trying really hard to keep my head up. Like, I got it.
You got this, babe. Woo!
You got this.
And
And you walk into Voodoo Child's study.
what'd you say?
And you walk into Voodoo Child's study.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're not there at the moment.
No, she is not.
Okay. I look around. I creep over to where I see. It's probably hanging on like a hat rack.
Nah, it's on a bust on the desk.
Oh, perfect. I go a little bit faster than I intend to, and I knock a whole bunch of crap off the desk.
Several
then-
things fizzle and pop.
Oh, no. Just grab it and I run. And I slam the door behind me.
Give me an unleash, really quick.
Okay.
Standard has been set.
I know, right?
Okay, so you can mark a condition, or you're not going to be done yet.
I want to see what happens. I'm not going to mark a condition.
Okay, so you head back towards the door, and as you do, you feel something wrap around your leg and start to pull you back.
You just see a little word bubble that go, oh, shh. And I just hit the ground. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It was a game. We're playing a game, because we're teenagers.
It lets you go. Sorry. It lets you go.
Oh.
Thank you.
You hear
I'm
the
gonna-
sound of something retracting slowly.
I slowly shut the door. I have a feeling that's going to come back to haunt me later. Thank you, Arthur. And I just put it down. I'm like, I don't want to touch it.
He's just like, gimme.
Oh, yeah. That's on you now.
He takes the top hat, reaches into his cloak, pulls out a tiny white rabbit, secrets it into the hat, and then a couple of doves, and an entire deck of cards. And then you just see him walk to the same door, open it, just wing it, and it lands perfectly on the bust. Closes the door. Victory is mine this day.
What have we
Not gonna
unleashed
lie.
in you?
I don't know, but I kind of like it. Anyway, your turn, Issa.
Oh. Okay. Babe.
Hmm?
Truth or dare?
I don't know. Truth. Yeah, truth.
Was I really your first kiss?
Scandal.
Mm,
I mean, that's what you said. It's okay if it's not. I mean, I won't get mad. It's fine.
yeah, you were.
Yay, I was. Thanks, babe.
I mean, what you thought I was gonna say? Like, kiss someone before you? Remember, I was like in and out of a laboratory my entire life. Not much social interaction back then.
I mean, that's fair.
How
Okay.
about this? You give me a really hard one.
Okay. If you could go back to what it was before you were like this, would you?
Yeah, I would. Like, I think about it sometimes. What if I was never taken by the Bureau? If I was just, me, raised by my mom, who's a dragon. I mean, it's still kind of weird when you think about it. But still, I mean, I probably wouldn't be this point. So no, actually, no. You know what? No, I wouldn't. because I don't know how my life would have turned out if I didn't get scooped up by them. I figured just probably me living my life normally, not being a hero or anything. It'd be really, really boring, and I wouldn't have any of you guys in it. Maybe Arthur, but the rest of you probably not. That's kind of like a life I really don't want to think about.
You wouldn't have met me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
I kiss him on the cheek and I just sit down next to him. See? It's getting better.
Yeah, it's true. He eats the sandwich. And he kind of like, his hand like hesitantly pats Isla on the thigh, just for like a quick moment, and then he goes back to eating a sandwich.
Are you afraid you're gonna hurt me now?
No, I'm not afraid he's gonna hurt you. It's just, I mean, it's probably weird, touching me. I don't know. I feel kind of weird touching people and being touched like that.
We'll talk about it more when we're not surrounded. But I'll just let you know right now that nothing that would ever happen to you or you could do would change how I feel about you. So we'll get through it.
Thanks, babe. You can't tell he's smiling, but he is smiling.
I got my belly button pierced.
Wait, you did?
You just
I'll show you
offered
later.
that up for free? You didn't make us work for it?
I mean, sorry. Marvin, it's your turn.
All right, let's see. Hey, all right, Sapphire, truth or dare?
Truth.
Truth, all right. Truth about Sapphire. Sapphire pretty much answer any question we give him.
Thought bubble.
Okay, here's the truth. Sapphire. And he like leans forward again.
Yeah, like leans back up.
Was Elodie your first crush?
Yes.
Wait, for real? Really? Seriously, dude?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. I was, again, up until now, most of my life I spent in the factory. I mean, and with a bunch of other sapphires that look just like me. So, yeah.
Huh.
There's a thought. A bunch of other sapphires that look like sapphire.
Well, I guess they don't look exactly like me. They look very similar, though. It's a whole thing, Things are very different here on Earth than back on Lithia. I mean, you've got like humans who you're all the same species, but you look so different. But with us, we've got like different types, and they're all pretty much uniform. They all sort of have the same role in society. It's a mess. You guys. That's just why I like this planet so much.
You see a thought bubble in Marvin's head as you're describing that, where you see these two like space marines looking over a hill. He's like, I feel it, the rumble in the earth. What do you mean, sir? The horde is coming, and you see a horde of sapphires rise up and crest over the hill like a Zerg rush and just wipe out the entire army as they run over. The thing is, they're not creepy monsters. It's the same sapphire being cheerful.
Yeah.
So he's a bunch of them just being cheerful, having running across the plane and just wipe out an entire city.
I just picture the equivalent of like corgis. All the mounds of corgis just attacking.
There's just one giant speech bubble that just says, "Yay!"
Wow.
All right, well, your turn.
All right. Marvin. Truth or dare?
Me? Back to me again. All right. You
Oh,
know
you know what? You're right. You did
Yeah.
answer way too many questions.
I did.
Elodie, truth or dare?
He's gonna say dare.
Truth.
Oh, wow. Wasn't expecting that.
Ida
let's
leans
see.
really close.
Let's see. Okay, so I know that you love everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who is your biggest crush? I mean, doesn't have to be in this group. I mean, just in general.
None of you can be offended at this. I want your word. None of you can get offended.
I swear I won't be offended.
I'm good.
Mildly offended, but I will still love you.
That's fair. Blue shift.
Blue shift?
Wait, really?
Yeah, I really had a thing for him when I was growing up.
I could have sworn it would be Pulsar.
Pulsar is my hero. She's the one I want to idolize. She's the one I want to model myself after, the one I want to be like.
Ah, true. That does.
Blue
make
shift
sense.
is the one that I wanted to like maybe have a couple of romantic rendezvous with.
Well, considering moving that fast, you can actually have after images on a cosmological level, so you can have multiple partners at once.
Perhaps.
Sounds like you thought about this before.
Maybe once or twice.
I mean, hey. Blue ship, I guess.
And now you guys know I have a thing for the color blue. Isla, truth or dare?
That explains it.
That explains a lot.
Oh,
Blue Shift does have a nice butt.
Oh yeah.
Blue ship does have amazing.
Arthur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no arguments there.
What?
Every day you surprise me. I suppose truth this time because I am not going through that again.
Oh good. I was hoping you'd say that.
Well, now I'm more scared.
Have you ever thought about kissing Arthur?
You see, like Marvin, so you see the panel of you see Isla sitting on the sofa, and then you just see Marvin just like slowly lean out from behind Isla, looking at him.
Isla starts sweating profusely. No.
Are you
The house
lying to
trembles a
me?
little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was like maybe once.
Ah, knew it. And he eats a sandwich.
Arthur, you cute though.
I mean, he is.
Okay. Arthur, truth or dare?
I have gone through all of the gummy bears in the house. And still there are cosmological things I cannot say. So, Hell Warden Rule 237, you always have to say dare.
You just made that one up.
No. And then there's the yellow panel in the corner. See Hell Warden issue 132.
Is there something we're supposed to be doing right now, or are we cool with still doing truth or dare?
We can have one more little moment. Besides, I got to have one over on Voodoo Child. I am happy.
Okay.
So one more moment, huh?
Well, I can do this last dare and then probably one more moment after that.
Make it
I
a good one, babe.
I dare you to grab Busha's favorite nightgown. It's not anything weird. She lays it down in her bed every night for when she's ready for bed. I just want her to be so confused at where it would go, and she knows it would be you.
There is terror in his face. True, unadulterated terror.
You see both sets of Marvin's eyes like wide open in fear. Really?
What happens if he doesn't do the dare?
If he doesn't do the dare, well, Marvin stands up, walks to the kitchen. You hear the shuffling of various things coming from the kitchen, and he comes back out and he sets down a glass mug, and inside the mug are just several like layers of liquid that look like he just grabbed random ingredients from the kitchen and threw them inside this cup and stirred it up. And even though he mixed them up, some of the stuff just still separated from each other. You gotta drink this.
There are no good options here.
The wrath of a Polish grandmother? Or this monstrosity of a drink?
For the sake of the cosmos, I have to go to your apartment. Pray for me. And he doesn't go through the door. He finds a closet. Walks into the closet. Just stands perfectly still as he's staring out the closet in Isla's apartment. Well, we're going to have a conversation anyway. Might as well just tack this on at the end. Jadwiga? It's Arthur.
Arthur, you come through closet. They tell you come through front door. You're welcome in this house. No need to sneak thief.
Yeah, I know. Just it's a day. Let's sit down. I need to talk to you.
Jadwiga turns off Jeopardy.
Yeah. So I like to think that I'm pretty good at stuff, but I panic a lot. And sometimes I don't necessarily use all the brain power that was given to me, and I do things.
Is Isla all right?
That's what I wanted to come and talk to you about.
You see her knuckles tighten.
She's alive, but I had to use the sand, and we were all carried off into creation's realm. And, well, almost everybody was carried off to creation's realm. I ended up in the labyrinth. I made it upstairs. I made it through the door. But I was confronted by what creation had in store for Isla, which was her confronting a future self possibility. And Isla, being Isla, considering that future was not what she could accept, stabbed that self. And I panicked because it wasn't just one collapsing, it was both. And I was afraid she was going to die. And so, without thinking, I used what power I had in a way that I should never have used it. And I bound the two together to make a whole. So she wouldn't die. And she's different now, and I know there's consequences for my actions. And I don't know if I can undo what I did or what the long-term consequences of it would be.
You brought a dream to the waking. Doing that is not advised. Even I do not know the whole of what will happen when you do such a thing. That is for you and your teacher to figure out and fix if you can. That's you had good intent. This I can see. I can feel it. That you should not feel guilt for. What you should feel guilt for is not trusting Isla to solve the problem herself. Little Mythos, you cannot solve the world, hard as you try. Thank you for being honest, though. That I appreciate.
Rule 21. You always tell the truth with family.
Is this why she has not come home yet?
Partly. The other part is more complicated. Barvin's not well, and the city's in danger. But it's more Marvin's not well.
He's not well. He's sick also from the dream, or
No consequences upon us getting back. He pushed himself, and an element of whatever the Bureau put in him is now at the forefront, and he can't change back. Considering that this is science, not magic, I can't undo it.
as I said, we don't need to solve everything. And if Isla is with him, he'll pull through. Big Dumbo that he is.
Thanks. I was originally sent here to retrieve your favorite nightgown as part of a childish dare. If you deem willing enough to part with it. If not, I will go back and tell of my epic failure and drink the concoction of doom.
Had you tried to steal, I would have sent you back with your tail between your legs.
Oh, trust me, I know who you are.
You'd be foolish not to. And you are not a fool, Arthur Addison. Take your prize and send it home with Isla when she is ready to come home.
Thank you, Jadwiga. Praise be to you, Hussar. Praise be to you.
Tell them to stop making such rackets outside. Otherwise,
I'm
I
out.
will get very cross.
Yes, ma'am. And he exits through the front door. And then turns a corner, and he just uses a little magic to make himself look as bad as when he retrieved the liquor. I have acquired the prize.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done it. It was too far. Not bad. Okay.
I did not know that she knew how to use a salad shooter that way. And collapses.
Hey. My bad.
Whoa.
2 awesome victories for Artie. Wow.
Seriously, I think, dude, I think you won Truth or Dare tonight.
Agreed.
Yeah.
There is no winning. And he grabs hold of the bureau, grabs that same burlap sack, pops a bean, slides it back in, gets back up. So what's the last thing you guys want to do?
In the way you sound, it makes it almost sound like, we're gonna, this is it for us.
No, it's not it for us. But just in case it is. Rule 9, always be prepared. Rule 11, when you can, smile.
I have an idea. And Isla goes and rummages in one of the rooms and comes back with one of those really old school cameras that you need like gunpowder or whatever for the flash. And she sets it up. She's like, I found this weeks ago and I've been wanting to use it. It's got a timer on it. We are going to get a picture of all of us. I don't think we have one.
It's true, we don't.
Yeah.
So I'll start setting it up. Arthur, I think I did this right, but if not, fix it.
He goes over and just resets the timer. Otherwise, it would have been an hour.
Yeah. Cool.
Get in places, and then I will unleash my hand.
Elodie, she's like cycling through appearances. She's like, okay, do I want this nose? Do I want this hair? And then she stops. And then she looks at all of you and she says, no. And she goes, au naturel.
That's my girl.
Marvin will like stand in the back. It still feels he looks a little bit awkward, but does his best to get into the mood of getting his picture taken.
In that moment, a drawer opens, and then just retrieving from the drawer Marvin's motorcycle gloves, a pair he left at the house, and just tosses them.
Yeah, Sapphire, of course, stands near Elodie. He's sort of like got his arm around her.
Elodie is on one side of Marvin with her arm around his waist.
Ready?
Yep, yeah. He like fixes the
Ready.
gloves on his hands.
And gets around, sees that he set the timer a bit too quick, and then just horizontally leaps to get into the picture. So it's just him ever so slightly blurry there, towards the bottom of the picture as he's landing on the floor, and all of them together.
And you hear the snap, the poof, the flash of light. And right after you finish, you hear the sound of doors shattering elsewhere in the house.
What was that?
What was that?
What was
I have
that?
no idea.
And
Arthur?
that is where we're ending tonight's issue of Sunset City.
Come on, man!
Come on.
No.
I gotta be history's greatest monster, otherwise what am I doing?
Oh my gosh. Whew.
I didn't expect any of that. My goodness.
I was not expecting that to happen.
Well, let's go back around the horn, talk to people, figure out where we can find them online, and what our Mythfits issues look like this coming week. Start from the bottom. Pope, how you doing, friend?
That was a ringer of an episode. Oof. But that was amazing. Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope Worldbuilder on Twitter, Pope Worldbuilder on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. Yeah, no, it got some stuff on the back burner. You'll see me around soon. But till then, do not miss out here every other Sunday. Same Mythfits time, same Mythfits channel. We love all of you, whether you are watching live, the VOD on YouTube. You make all of this possible, and you're as much a part of the story as we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I am going to plug one thing, right now there is a week-long charity going on for Child's Play. It's called Desert Bus. Desert Bus for Hope. Done by Loading Ray Run. I believe this is we're like towards year 17 now. So go tune in. They have tons of different drives, raffles, silent auctions, what have you, and it's all going to an amazing, amazing cause. So you've got plenty of time. You got a moment free. Tune in. It's a fun, fantastic time, and if you can give, even better. So check out either twitch.tv/desertbus or desertbus.org. You can see the content either way. As for the next issue of Hell Warden, we see he has gone from one problem to another. As the House of Secrets is being assaulted yet again, but this time by a group of professional mercenary villains. This is the attack of Safe and Sound. Safe is known as a, well, safe cracker of sorts. Someone who is able to get hyper and super technologies, retrieve them, and if the client doesn't pay up, well, he keeps it and improves upon it and integrates it into his suit. And then there's Sound, their partner in crime, who is a sonic supervillain who can shatter mountains and buildings, but prefers not to. They're both incredibly safe and sound. They haven't killed a single person yet, and they're not going to do it if they have anything to say about it. They occasionally help heroes when somebody violates the code. But otherwise, well, if they're paid to retrieve something, they're going to retrieve it. Because it's safe and sound. So we see them with Safe at the bottom of the door, opening it up, just getting it open into the House of Secrets. Sound looking out behind him, her eyes going wide, as we just see the shadow of the Hell Warden leading up to the door.
awesome. Now that's a cover. That is an issue that I would very much like to read, if and when we get a chance. Celeste, how you doing? Where can we find you?
Well, that that was nuts. I was terribly anxious about that opening scene, a lot. But it happened. If it went well, who can say? But it happened for sure. Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. You might actually catch me sometime next month doing a stream of my own. I'm going to be streaming for charity, for an undecided charity. I'm still pinging back and forth. Might be the Ochre Project. We'll see. And I'm going to be doing a live stream where I play Final Fantasy XIV and attempt to get the infamous sightseeing log number 53 in Kugane, the one where you have to climb the big tower. And there will be donation incentives to stay my progress. Read make me throw myself from the tower and have to start over. So, if you want to come see me torture myself and help torture me, come hang out. That's going to be sometime next month. More details to come. As far as other places you can catch me, I am still over on Encounter RP every Wednesday. We had to take a break this past week for disaster things. But we'll be back with iHunt this coming Wednesday. And we'll see what happens to Yuna after she got, into some trouble on her own. Never split the party, guys. Never split the party. Yeah. As far as Party Crasher, I think, given that we had this flashback today, I think we should have a look at Party Crasher number 1. Come Away, O Human Child. Where she, with Periwinkle reaching out his hand and Elodie reaching to take it, where she made the contract and had her first foray with her powers.
Nice. Bit of a throwback. I dig it. Corey, how are you doing? Where can we find you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Again, it's never a dull moment with you guys. I'm Corey Sparks, otherwise known as Hyperlight Sparks. You can find me on Twitter at Hyperlight Sparks with an X. I've actually been posting there a bit more than usual now, so yeah. As for the comic, it's actually the one that debuted that planet that Sapphire was considering settling on that time, that he took Elodie to. The cover of it shows him basically like sitting on a hill, looking over that scenery that I was talking about, as he sort of like looks up at the sky, seeing stuff in the distance, and the subtitle is Garden of Everything. Basically, like, the whole story of that would be about Sapphire landing there, and he finds like this perfect place, but again, he's like the only sapient being there, so it's sort of like his internal struggle trying to decide whether or not he wants to stay there and just live out the rest of his life alone, or go out in the galaxy where he can do some actual good and fight it, and struggling with his fear of having to fight back against injustice, or taking the plunge and doing what's brave.
Nice. Love it. Christy, how are you doing? Where can we find you?
First of all, that poem
Oh, yeah.
broke my heart in the best way possible. Oh my goodness, Celeste. Seriously. Anyway, I'm Christy, also known as Polish Christy. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Discord. I stream with these beautiful, beautiful people every other Sunday here. And if you're not watching on a regular basis, you should be, because the story just keeps getting better and better and better. I do want to plug, I'm not going to get too deep into the secrets, but I did just record the other night a podcast with our dear friend David White, also known as Mr. Banana Shoes. It's going to be coming out in January. It's 3 episodes worth, and I'll tell you more when it gets closer because I don't want to spoil it before he starts busting it out there. And I will be doing something else with him after that.
Fantastic. Mr. Banana Shoes playing our effervescent Captain Power. We miss him. And it's good to see him doing other things as he gets up to. Fantastic. And last but absolutely not
Wait, we need to find out what the next issue of Hussar is.
You're right. Thank you. Just in time.
You reminded me. This one is subtitled Training Days. And it's just about Jadwiga raising Hussar. And Jadwiga never really lets on that she has any powers or capabilities or anything. It's more about just Hussar controlling herself and learning at a very young age that of all of the things that she's possible of doing, it's probably very overwhelming for a child to like feel everybody's emotions. So Jadwiga never wanted her to become Hussar until she was of an age that she could handle it. So it was never necessarily training, but in a way it was. So that whole issue is just about Jadwiga raising Isla and teaching her the ways.
Nice. There we go. Now, last but absolutely not the least, Wally, my friend, how are you doing? Where do we find you?
Oh boy. Today was a great episode. I mean, this was a good, nice, deep, emotional episode. It was just grand. A lot of good it was definitely one of those episodes. It was not the beach episode, but this was the beach episode. Like it wasn't the beach episode, but it was the beach episode. But so great. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Wally. You can find me on Twitter at Wally132, WALLE132, much like the cute little robot. You can also find me every single Wednesday over at the Stalwart Initiative playing some Moths to a Flame, an Eberron setting D&D campaign, which is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the crap out of it, and I get to play a No Martyr Fisher, and that's rare that I get to play tiny people. Also, every single Thursday, I'm over at Digital Entertainment doing the Decode podcast where we talk about esports. Always tons of fun. And then every other Sunday, I am back here, over here with the Killer DM, playing Masks. What is this month's issue of Turbine? So the actual meta, now the reason why Turbine changed his playbook is because a new writer took over the book. And this is the path that he wanted to take with Turbine. So this new issue is actually the capstone issue for the previous writer. And it is the look back to when Marvin won the Intergalactic Championship belt and how he lost it that same exact night. And the cover of it is there's actually two covers. One is a normal cover where it's Marvin in the ring surrounded by all of these wrestlers. And it's like kind of like that one scene in Duck Tracy where Daffy's surrounded by all of his guys and he yells, "You're all under arrest." It's kind of like that, where it's just him in the middle of the ring and he's surrounded by all these guys, and just a little speech bubble that says like, "I got this." But the variant cover is a reference to today's issue of Mythfits, where you see it's a cover where you see both Arthur and Marvin posing like the Young Bucks, where Marvin is super into the pose, where Arthur just has this look of like, why am I doing this? But I'm enjoying it. They're even dressed up like them too.
Yeah, I figured it's perfect. And honestly, like now that we've gotten through the issue, like the cover for this Mythfits issue is absolutely everybody with all of these various things like Hellwarden's rum, Jadwiga's nightgown, and a bunch of other stuff from the various adult heroes, and they're kind of like posing with it in a picture pose, and it's absolutely every frame a painting.
The variant cover is them dressed as the hero that they did this to.
Yes.
So you would see like Mythos dressed like Hell Warden. You would see Hussar dressed in the classic OG Hussar, like stuff like that you would see, and it would just be like it's like a really cool variant cover like that, where they're all dressed up as someone that means a lot to them. Like heck, you would even see probably Elodie dressed as Pulsar
Yes.
or something like that, and like that's what I think it would probably be, something like that. Maybe that'll be the variant cover.
Absolutely.
And one more thing, like there would be like a limited edition cover that only like came out on the first time this was released, and it's like a collector's item where the cover is literally just the picture that they took. That
Yes,
one where they
it's
took in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like drawn in like a more detailed style to look like it's an old photograph, and it's just like
Well, we come down to it. As for me, I'm Matt, the Killer GM. You can find me on Twitter at the Killer GM. I write about gaming, nerdery, various other things, talk with people, and put things together. Run masks every other Sunday, and well. And now I get to make the big announcement because I finally put it all together. So last year at PAX Unplugged, I ran a little tournament called the Killer GM Open. It was this big deathmatch tournament over the course of a weekend. Terribly exhausting, horribly fun. We can't really have cons in this time, but I can still throw a damn tournament. And so I am announcing that we are running online this month in December over the first 3 weekends, the Killer GM Open. If you want to fight for guts and glory, get you 3 of your friends and yourself and hop onto that Google sign-up form. I'm putting it on here. I'll put it in the YouTube link as well. Sign up by December 3rd. Please sooner if you can. And bring your team. There's going to be 16 teams, 4 arenas, and it's going to be a heck of a good time, and we would love to see you there. I know everybody on here is incredibly excited and has been putting teams together, so I am very excited to see what everybody else has. Oh, right, and it's the arcade edition, so you look at the rules, see what you can do to make that work. Points for style, but you definitely do get repped pretty good. And we'll be streaming those matches all this next month here, so keep your eyes on this channel, because you're going to get to see what's going on and see what a D&D deathmatch looks like. I can guarantee you, it's a heck of a good time. So, there's just a couple things left to say for the night. We're going to have our stinger. We see a table. We see a map of Sunset City. And we see several pieces arrayed around one location. And those in the know that is the location of the House of Mystery. And just one speech bubble. Get them. And then the title, next time, Assault on the House of Mystery. Remember, friends.
we're really at that point, aren't we?
With the Killer GM, you can always bet your life on it. And you just might sometimes.